All right, guys. I think we should be live and direct. Give me a minute. I'm gonna test out some things to make sure that we're streaming the right way. It's been a while, so I got to make sure I got everything on point. All right, let me see. All right, so it looks like I'm live. All right, so how you guys doing, man? This is your man Orville J. Parker, aka Coach Guys. Welcome to this episode of the show, the video. If you're a first time viewer, I want to thank you for checking out the feed. If you are a loyal viewer, I want to thank you for your continuous support. Got to get all my stuff right here. My teenage son being here in my at my desk sometimes, and so he have things moved all around, so I have to come in and try to get it right. Okay, guys, so let's talk about what I got to talk about today. You know, as I you know, I don't know if you guys know anything about me, but I'm in the process of building a small publishing company. And I've been working on this company all this year. So we have several different courses and trainings that we've created over the year. We have them available for sale on different websites. And this year, man, I wanted to attack something that I've been wanting to attack for years. And it's something I have thought about, I've researched, I've engaged in, and but never really attacked it. And so I wanted to attack it, but what I did was I wanted to attack it from my viewpoint. So basically, I have always been interested in things such as preparedness and self sufficiency, self reliance. When it came to our food, when it came to knowing how to protect my family, when it came to finances, when it came to just really understanding and mastering basic skills that our parents and our grandparents used to have. When you think about it now, and this is what got me thinking about it. I was originally thinking about it from a income standpoint, okay? From an income standpoint, producing your own income. And the more I started thinking on that level, the more I started seeing that this was straight across the board. That we as individuals, and I'm not just talking about in the United States, I'm talking about all over, that a lot of us have moved to the level where we are totally dependent on everybody for everything. You get up in the morning, you go into a job that a boss. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Had to go check something, and while I was over there, man, my science is getting going too, so I had to take care of that also. But no, when you think about the average individual is totally dependent on somebody else for provision, protection, or you guys follow what I'm saying? And I have been looking at things, and I've been telling myself that me personally, I wanted to take the challenge of getting myself into a position to where I felt that I was more ready for life, things that life could throw at me versus to what I was now. And the reason why this also interests me is because it was going to be a mental challenge, a physical challenge, but then the skill sets and the preparedness and the readiness that I obtained from doing this was going to be even a higher level of achievement. And it will allow me to be able to hopefully deal with different situations or scenarios that could take place in our world in a way to where I was able to protect my family. I was able to provide for my family. And you know, it was crazy because when I was looking at the timing of this, and I said, "Man," I said, there's no better time in history to be learning and practicing self sufficiency and preparedness. Because right now we live in one of the most exciting times when it comes to innovation and things like that. But then at the same time, you know, I feel that we live in one of the most volatile times, uncertain times, where there is so much going on that literally things that we used to only say, okay, man, that'd be crazy if that happened. It can literally happen. It can literally happen. And it doesn't have to be super extreme like World War III or anything like that. But it could be just be something again like a pandemic. We all saw with the C word, you guys know what I'm talking about. A few years back, how that shut down. It shut down everything, and how the world just literally came to a halt. And there was so much uncertainty out there, and during that time, I think a lot of people were able to really come to a position in their minds that they said, okay, I wasn't ready for this. You know, I wasn't ready for this. You know, if you remember the stores, everybody was doing runs on the stores, basic supplies, food, all that stuff. And at one point, you didn't even really want to go to the stores because of what was going on. And so, if you didn't have food at home, man, you was at the mercy. You was at the mercy of everything. And you know, I don't know. I just looked at things and I said, okay, you know, I didn't like the way that that went down. All right, and I didn't want to ever be in that position again. You know, and so as I started looking for a new project for my publishing company, I said, okay, let's go ahead and create something around preparedness and readiness from a basic standpoint, like us being prepared for disruptions such as snowstorms, power outages, things like that, all the way up to being prepared for something super extreme. Let's say like a world war or an invasion or something like that. Now, this is the thing about this, you know, and this is what and the name of the program or the name of what we put together is called SHTF Ops. All right, and basically you prepare for the extreme, but just like any other normal person on planet Earth, you hope the extreme never happens. But the difference from you, if you engage in the training and the strategies that we provide in SHTF, is that you have some level of preparedness for things that other people don't. You know, you done already went there in your mind, right? And if something was to happen, you're not starting from ground zero in your mind. You have skill sets, training, information that you've been absorbing over a certain length of time that's going to allow you to have some type of fighting chance in your life. You know, it could be a major earthquake, it could be anything, right? Um, yeah. But if you never have to face these issues, man, you're still going to get the benefit of several things. One, you're going to be in super shape. You're going to be in good shape physically. You're going to be mentally strong, and you're going to be very, very knowledgeable. And so, if you like to do things like camp, hike, or know that you can move around your home if something breaks down, you're very resourceful. You know how to create solutions for problems. Then this is going to be your place here. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do was so this is exactly how I built this, guys. I want you guys to understand this is exactly how I built this. So I've been working on I have an AI assistant that I didn't have for the last 2 years, and the acronym for my assistant is Vic. But imagine Vic is like a staff of some of the smartest brains, right? And if you know anything about AI, you understand that AI, depending on which LLM you're using, has been trained all the way up at this level up to a PhD level. But now you can customize or train your AI even further by feeding it publications around or courses or trainings around a certain thing. So even though it's trained to a certain level, you're going to train it more deeper, right? Then what you do is then what I and this is what I did. I started customizing my AI to be a researcher, expert, editor for me, right? And so over the last year, we've created about 20 different trainings and courses around different subjects, okay? And when I started down the path of preparedness, I sat down and I wrote, okay, what would I want to know? All right, what would I want to know? All right, and then I had my AI look into this whole thing and create me a list of things that I need to know or I should know. All right, and then we took what I wanted to know and what I should know, and we put it together. And then what we did was we started using a system that we've been very good at perfecting to start doing the research and compiling the data and then looking at the data and saying, okay, what do we need to know here? And this is one of the keys that I did with this also was that I built it from a beginner standpoint. All right. I built it from somebody who was totally clueless of any of this information at first. So we built it from a beginner standpoint. And then what we did was we started taking all that data that we had, and took what I wanted to know, what I needed to know, and then I had Vic and the team create me a a training and we started pumping out these trainings, right, and building them around different things that we felt that I needed to know if I wanted to accomplish what I was trying to accomplish, and that was to obtain a certain level of knowledge to have me ready and prepared to deal with certain disruptions and situations in my life. All right, and we attacked it from different angles. We attacked it from the physical fitness level. So we created a. I told Vic that I wanted to create a regiment around body weights. And so what we did was we looked at the Navy SEALs, we looked at some of their training programs, and then we pulled some things from there. We added some things from our end, and we created a really cool training program that we have out, and it's called the SHTF Ops workout regimen, and it's based off the Navy SEALs training program. So we have a phase one and phase two, and then later on, I went in and told Vic that I wanted to add a weightlifting component to it. So the AI went in, looked at what we were already doing, and said, okay, this is what we can incorporate for a full body workout with weights 3 days a week, and it would complement what you're doing with the body weight exercises. So we created this really cool addition to it. So now we have this training program that anybody could actually use to get themselves in physical shape. And the cool thing is that you don't even need to have access to a gym to do this, the core training. Now, if you wanna enhance that by doing the weightlifting, you could do that, and you'll have to have a gym for that part. But for the main or the core part of the program, you don't have to have a gym. All right, so that was really cool. But then what we did also was we went in, we added something on creating your own economy. You guys know I'm all about working for yourself if you can, or building multiple streams of income, or being self sufficient. So that way you're prepared for anything that comes your way. We talked about that. We talked about basic preparedness. We talked about real SHTF scenario. If everything hit the fan and there was a total disruption, chaotic disruption in our world, what you need to do on the first 90 days of this happening. And then we talk to you about that. And then we get into basics, guys. We get into basics on how to get yourself prepared. Hold on 1 minute, guys. Hold on 1 minute. All right, so we talk about how to get yourself prepared mentally, physically, and get you in a position to where you're able to go out here and win. Okay. So we got it. We got it. We got it taken care of for you. I'm gonna show you guys, and then we're gonna get on into what we're gonna be talking about today. So here is the back end of the of what we put together. So this is the SHTF ops here. Here's the classroom. This is where most of the stuff take place. You click here on start here, and we have a lot of different training that we laid out for you here just to lay the ground. So we talk about why preparedness matters here. We talk about the basic training for modern preparedness, why what our approach is, and why we do it the way that we're doing it here. Then you go into that. We give you a lot of cool stuff. Like we show you how to do some of the basic stuff right now. Like right now, let me show you here. All right, like if say for instance something was to happen, like a snowstorm, major disruption, you had to stay home. All right, so we give you a framework for how to do that. All right, we give you a framework for how to build a bag that you carry in your truck or your car, in case something happens and you need to get home and you have to foot it. All right, during some type of catastrophe, we got that right there. Then we show you how to do the loadout in the bag for like if you're at home and you're trying to bunker down at home and survive, but then say circumstances, situations say you need to evacuate, you need to get out of there fast. So we show you how to put together a bag for that that's going to have the essentials that you and your family are going to need to be able to hopefully survive over the next 72 hours while you're trying to make your escape, all right, out to a more safer area. We have firearm safety shooting 101, where we go in and we just show you what you need to actually plug into if you're going to learn how to use a firearm. Everything from the training and different things, which is really, really cool. We don't do any training, but we show you where to go out there in your neighborhoods or your areas and get your training and stuff like that. And we talk about core skills that every prepper needs to have, and this is stuff that and guys, so understand that I'm working through this just like you guys are. All right, so yeah, I'm going through this just like you guys. So here we show you how to do research as a prepper, how you can start building what we call your prepper library or prepper university. And then here we talk about a basic philosophy called the gray man framework, where you blend in with society so you don't stand out. All right. And even in the SHTF situation, you wouldn't stand out. You know, and that's going to be very mission critical that if stuff really hits the fan, you can't look like you have a lot of foods and preps at home. All right. So we just talked to you about just being normal and blended in. All right. Core 90 is our basic 90-day program on going from somebody who is not prayer or situation aware to somebody that is prayer. Really good. You do it over 90 days, which is really, really cool. Here's our workout regimen here that I was talking about. This is phase 1 of our Navy SEAL body weight training. Then we got a phase 2. All right. Then we have the full day lifting plan here that we give you. And then I'm adding some advanced workouts from some Navy SEAL workouts, man, that you guys can do once you perfect the basic fitness training. And then remember I told you guys we created the course called Surviving the First 90 Days, which is key, guys, because this is worst case scenario here, guys. This is worst case scenario. So I had my AI go in and look at what scenarios what a person would need to do. And then we went in and we looked at some different trainings that was put out there by some guys who knew what they were talking about. Green Berets, some of these guys who was in SRE where they would for the Air Force where they would go out and their specialty was evade, getting out of a situation. And we went in, we took all our information, and then AI was able to analyze everything and put together a really, really, really good program. And again, this is stuff I'm going through too, guys, to get myself ready and prepared. But that's surviving the first 90 days. Then we have this here, Create Your Own Economy, where in here I have 3 courses here that sort of show you how to start making money, buying and selling and flipping in your local area to start getting the funds that you need to direct towards your preps, and you getting prepared and buying what you need to buy for your family. But then also in these three courses, you're going to learn a business model that you could just keep rolling with, where you can make money flipping physical items, cars. We even have a course here that shows you how to flip information products. This section here is all about you creating your own economy and starting down the road with that. And then got some random survival and preparedness articles here on this one here. And then we have also, this is really good here. This is the Bitcoin Prepper Playbook. We show you how to use Bitcoin as a prepper. And again, we're not financial experts or anything, but I just show you a strategy that I had my AI build out for me that I'm actually rolling with. And it's all geared towards you approaching it from a prepper standpoint. And it's really, really good. This is really good. You guys know if there was a financial collapse, the dollar might not be there for you, but Bitcoin will. All right. It will. Okay. Here in this section, we got some downloadable ebooks. We got some different um, manuals that are put out by the government to train our military on different skill sets such as survival and things like that. Yeah, you're going to be able to access a lot of these manuals back there. I got probably about 12 to 15 back there right now. I'm going to be adding more back there, but just one of these manuals here is worth the price of admission. All right. And you're going to learn a lot of things in those. So we got those. You can print those out, download them. Yeah, do what you do with them. All right. Let me make sure that you guys are still seeing what I'm seeing. Okay. Have to always be worried about that. Okay. And then let's see where we're at. All right. All right. Now, this is something here that I'm putting together. Here is a resource guide. And this is where I'm always put like a lot of the resources for you guys. So you go here, click on here. Like one of these is the Survivalist board, where you have over 160,000 members here. This is one of the old school boards here for you to learn different things like that. And so we're going to be giving you guys different resources like this that you can plug into and just expand on what we're giving you here. So this is just a starting point what we're giving you here, but we expect for you guys to go out and learn and train and do things like that. Now here is where I'm curating a lot of good content. So we're looking through the YouTube channels and things like that and trying to find some things that I think would be beneficial to you guys. This is not necessarily stuff you will look at first, but maybe down the road you'll want to look at this because some of this stuff is beginner level, some of it is a little bit more advanced. All right. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put it in place for you though, so that way you'll have it there. But the whole ideal is for you to go in and to do your own research and to use this as just a jump off for you guys to go in and learn how to start thinking about how you think and stuff like that. All right, which is really cool. Let's see if that's it. Yep, that's pretty much it, guys. So that's that. All right, so give me 1 minute. Let me get us transferred back to this level here. And again, guys, hold on 1 minute, and then we're gonna get to cooking, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I need to talk to you about. So one of the things I'll be fighting in the morning, man, is my sinuses. So I have to jump off camera sometimes, so I'm not sneezing on the camera. So as you guys can see, I just showed you. I just walked you through the back end of the SHTF Ops membership site, and you were able to see that there is a lot of different value-based resources and information that you guys are going to get back there. Now, this is the thing that I want you guys to understand. When it comes to information and knowledge, man, you have to look at it as an investment. You know, one of the things I told myself when I started working on this, and I'm actually doing the thing myself. So I'm actually prepping myself and trying to get my family up to speed on things like we should already be, so if it's building out my pantry or making sure I have certain equipment here, if something was to take place, such as a snowstorm, generators, things like that, that you do, I am looking at everything as an investment. And you can't look at it as a cost, right? Because with the cost, you get no return, right? But with an investment, you have several different ways you can get a return. Like in the case of being prepared, you can get the return of life, right? You can live through a situation, and that's with all seriousness. And I want you guys to remember this when you're looking at this type of information, and you're going through the process of saying, okay, do we as a family, or do I as an individual, need to prepare for things, and why would I want to do that? You want to look at that return on investment. We always say, even like, let's talk about financial, and then we'll get into the more of the other stuff. But let's say, for instance, if you don't if you don't have money put up in savings or in some type of vehicle for a rainy day or for a disruption in your finances, then if something happens, that can literally destroy your family, right? If you were to lose a job, or if you were to get super sick and you couldn't go to work, if you didn't have that cushion, if you didn't have savings, if you didn't have money put up, and if you weren't prepared for some type of financial disruption, that could mean destruction. I mean, you literally could cripple your family. You literally could destroy your family if you don't have that. And so, by having a savings account or an emergency fund, you are prepared for unforeseen circumstances, right? And this is the same way you need to look at everything else when it comes to preparedness and trying to be self-reliant. Is that just like having a financial cushion put up when it comes to your finances? You have to look at that as an investment, right? Almost like insurance. You hope you never need it, but if you do, you're going to be happy that you have it, type of thing. So your return on investment is peace of mind. Your return on investment is being able to survive some type of calamity or some type of disruption in your finances. That's the same way you need to look at things such as food, shelter, protection. It's a good investment. So you want to learn as much as you can learn, all right? Because your learning is going to give you a return on that investment of time and money that you spend to learn it. And one of the things I was looking at as we were putting together the SHTF Ops platform and program was that if anybody who didn't have this kind of stuff put in position, plugged into this, and you went 90 days, 180 days at doing some of the things that we share with you inside of SHTF, your return on investment is going to be crazy. Because you're going to be hopefully making more money, because we talked to you guys there in there about this, about how to start generating some extra income outside of your job. You're going to be you're going to be in hellified shape, because I'm doing our workout program, man. And when I say that it's going to get you in shape, it's going to get you in shape. All right. You're going to be mentally strong, because in order for you to do what it is that we're talking about to do inside the program, it's going to take a certain level of mental toughness, right? You're going to have to elevate the way you think. So your return on investment on that is going to be crazy, because you're going to be confident. You're going to be confident that you have put things in place to where if things were to go south in different areas of your life, you already have solutions to it. All right. You already have worked through the scenarios, and you already know what you would do in a certain situation. So you're going to have peace of mind. You're going to be able to move throughout life without a lot of fear, because you already understand that you can handle certain situations. You're going to have that. And then the more that you work these skill sets that we talk about, you learn these skill sets, the more peace of mind you're going to have that you're self-reliant. And that's what my whole idea for this program is to get is to get us prepared. All right, to get us prepared, but then also to get us to shift and to learn things in our minds that allow us to shift from being dependent to becoming independent. All right. So when we get up in the morning, we're in total control of how things are going because we're not dependent on a situation, or we are reliant enough or self-reliant enough to where we can handle things if something was to go south on us. If we were to lose the job, then we're okay because we already have multiple streams of income that we're running and building. Okay. If there was a snowstorm that happened and it was a disruption in the supply chain, we're okay because we're already stocked up on food and supplies. All right, God forbid if there was something to happen like a natural disaster, such as a tornado or earthquake or something like that. If we were able to survive the immediate devastation, then we can make it happen for our family because we're prepared. We have everything that we need to protect our families, provide for our families, and hopefully to get our families to the other side of that situation, right? Worst case scenario, something crazy was to happen, let's say like an EMP attack or a World War III scenario, and we had to do both protect and defend our families, then we knew or had the skills to do what we need to do on that level. All right. Return on investment is way here for the effort, the money that you might have to invest to get prepared. Um, it's something about knowing. When I look at certain people that have a certain level of knowledge to where they're resourceful, they're self reliant, I look at it and say, okay, that's a good place to be because now you can make things happen. And that's what I see with the whole learning thing. You can't look at learning as an expense. You have to look at learning as an investment. One of the best investments that you will ever make is in yourself, in your mind. And when I look at the skills that we're sharing in SHTF and this whole program, I said to myself, this is going to be one of the most valuable products that my publishing company put out. All right. Now, is it a be all? No, no, no. Do I have a background in military? Any of this? No, no, no. But what I do have a background is I do understand research. I do understand and compile the data. And me and my team has learned how to put together courses and trainings that build off of this research and this information, and we do it very very good. And so I'm very excited about this, and I'm gonna tell you guys, you have to look at your learning as an investment. It's one of the best investments that you can make because once you learn something, then nobody can take that away from you, and you can take that anywhere you go. If you move from one state to the next state, one country to the next country, you carry and hold that information in your mind. All right. And the skills that you're going to be learning in SHTF ops give you a high rate of return. There's no higher rate of return than life. All right. When you think about it, it's the highest return on your investment is life. All right. But then we give you more than that. We give you peace of mind. Hopefully, we give you financial independence and financial security. And then just the challenge, man, just the challenge. The older I get, the more I see that as we get older, man, we love being plugged in. We love being challenged, right? Because of the growth, and that's what we're after. And I think growth is one of those high yield returns on an investment. You go in, you learn something, and your capacity expands. Your capacity expands because now you can hold more than you ever held before. And this is one thing I know about learning, guys, is that you cannot commit to learning over a specific amount of time and apply what you're learning and not grow. Really think about that. If you sit down and you say you're serious about learning and you're serious about taking action on what you learn, there's no way that you cannot grow if you're doing those two things. And what I'm gonna challenge you guys is I'm gonna challenge you guys to when we launch the SHTF ops community, which is going to be in the next day or so. I got a few things I need to do today to tighten up some things and get us ready. And then when we launch this, man, go in here with this type of mindset that you're going to be up to the challenge. You're going to go in there, you're going to plug in, you're going to learn as much as you can, get your family prepared for any circumstance that can happen right away, and then start preparing to become a lifelong learner. So that way, as you learn, you keep extracting skill sets that turn into a good return on your investment because of what you're going to be able to do with those skills and who you're going to be able to become with those skills. But yeah, just plug in and understand that investing in yourself is one of the best investments you can make. In the course of HTF ops, you're going to get physically fit, you're going to get mentally fit, and you're going to have a whole repertoire of skill sets that's going to allow you to do things in your life that you never thought you could do. But it's going to also allow you to be able to protect and provide for your family if something was to ever go south. And I don't mean that major. If you're out camping, that's one of the cool things about what we're going to be what you're going to be exposed to, that you can use these just for everyday camping. Really, really cool. All right, Orville J. Parker, aka Coach. I'll catch you guys on the next video. God bless.